Bienvenido, damas y caballeros. Welcome back to Freeform Radio on that Freeform Network. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook and X at Freeform Network. Send in those questions and suggestions that you have for us, ffnquestions at gmail.com. But again, for Freeform Radio, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Daniel. Got with us today, Noel,
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us for another one here.
and we have Andy.
It's all good, Andy, and I'm glad to be here. Is officially FFN's a business. We got a business plan on this app we're using, so we're legit, I
Alleged.
guess.
Yeah. So they're going to start charging us taxes, Pritzker, or somebody's going to charge us something.
The
But
tax
yes, we're all together. Get this thing rocking and rolling. We're gonna jump over to Noel to start it off. I see here that you're watching Dark City. Now, I think I remember this movie. Is this movie like legitimately like really dark? Because I kind of remember that that was something they were making fun of.
No, it actually is. It's a dark city. Um, so yeah, this one came out in '98. I believe you might have seen it. I think the reason I saw it the first time was you had it on DVD, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this was with Rufus Sewell. This is a 1998 release, and it was about like a cyberpunk fantasy mystery sci-fi thriller is what IMDb classifies it as. It says here the man struggles with memories of his past, which include a wife he cannot remember and a nightmarish world no one ever seems to wake up from. So it's a really interesting, weird story. But to kind of summarize it, there's like these alien beings that are kind of wowed by humans. They want to understand humans better, and so they abduct a certain amount of them, and they build a city. They create it using like their mind. It's kind of like Matrix before Matrix, because this came out a year before. So similar to Matrix, they can design the city however they want. They could design it to like increase the size of the buildings or whatever's in it. And the people in there, they erase their memories every day and kind of rearrange them to live like a new life every single day. Sometimes it'll stay the same, sometimes it'll change very differently, and they'll have a different job, different wife, different everything. And it's all kind of weird. But one guy doesn't fall for that, and he kind of wakes up out of this matrix that he's in, and he realizes he also has the same ability that the aliens do, to manipulate the world, kind of like Neo. So it's similar to Matrix in that regard, but it's actually got a cool, creepy atmosphere, and it is very dark. To answer your question, it's literally dark all the time. There's no daylight, and the people don't realize it because every what should be morning, they go to sleep purposefully, like it's like a mind manipulation type of thing where the whole city shuts down and everybody like knocks out essentially. They get their memories erased and things get rearranged, and some people can go to sleep poor 1 minute and then the next minute they're in a mansion and they're rich and they got all this wealth and they got the memories implanted of them having had that life. So they start acting snobbish and start acting like they're better than everyone else when literally the night before they were poor and eating like a TV food dinner, you know? So it's pretty interesting, the whole play on everything. And there's conspiracy theorists that are waking up and they get like sequestered and killed and silenced. And this one guy, Rufus Sewell's character, his name is John. He ends up figuring some of these things out, and Kiefer Sutherland's another character who has some of his memories before this whole thing happened, and he's a doctor that helps John channel the abilities, kind of like Morpheus helped Neo. And so, in that regard, it's a very similar to Matrix, and the ending is interesting. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but do you remember this at all, Daniel?
No, man, this doesn't ring a bell. I do remember trying to watch this movie, whether I had it in DVD or if it was just something I was streaming, but I just couldn't get through it, man. It was really rough, or at least when I was watching it at the moment. Now, you mentioned it was before Matrix. That's sounding a lot like Matrix, or at least like an alternate universe of that. So it sounds like I might dig it because I really liked Matrix when that came out. But now, man, none of this is really ringing a bell. Other than the dark, really dark. It's like the movie's like blue almost the whole time, blue and blacks because it's so dark.
Yeah, it's got a weird style, but it's also by the same director that directed The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Okay.
He also did I, Robot and Knowing. So he does a lot of these like dystopian type of setups and like really dark, gritty city environments. So yeah, I think you might like it, man. And it has like this almost like a 1920s, 30s Dick
Yeah,
Tracy kind of vibe to it.
a noir type of feel,
Exactly. That's the
like
word right there.
this like very not depressing, just like really rough. Like nothing's ever right, like the noir films. And yeah, I mean, I'd never seen this movie. I just remember Dave, one of our longtime friends, I know since high school, when it came out, he was like raving about this. I think he said like when VHS was around and like the twist end or whatever. And I'm like, Dave, what does Dave know about sci-fi movies? But yeah, it became kind of like a cult hit, and I know when every time a new format comes out, they release it, re-release it. So yeah, I mean, I always wanted to get around seeing it, but I might be on the same boat as Danny. Like I don't know, might be I always thought it might be a little bit too rough, but it's on my watch list if I ever comes around to seeing it. But I'm in no rush to see it.
Yeah, it is a niche movie. I don't think everybody would like it, but I personally enjoyed it. I ended up buying the Arrow 4K release. It comes out with this box set, nice slipcover, and it's got a little booklet, some other, stuff in there to kind of enhance the lore and the information about it. So it's actually a good movie. I liked it a lot as a kid, and then I rewatched it yesterday, and it holds up, man. And the 4K release is spot on perfect. The color scheme, the texture, like the sharpness, everything looks great, and audio is good. So definitely would recommend it for those that like, like that neo noir, kind of like a cyberpunk mystery sci-fi thriller. But but yeah, so that's it right there. Moving on to something else I saw, Possessor. Now I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. This came out in 2020. I put it off for a good minute. I knew about this uh not when it came out, but like a couple years ago. I saw this on my list of like horror movies and stuff. And it's not your typical horror movie, but it is very horrific in the end of, when you sum it up. It's classified as a body horror, cyber thriller, psychological horror, or psychological thriller. And I would agree that it's very much a combination and blend of all that. It is gory, it is gritty, but not in the way you would think. It's not your typical like slasher or anything like that. It involves this woman who works for an agency. Imagine like a high-end covert op, like CIA type thing. And this is in like a universe or a future where they can implant chips, kind of like that Neuralink type stuff, and a person that you want to control. So the person that let's say is a famous like politician and they have access to either higher level politicians or people in power like corporation CEOs or something. And let's say you want to assassinate that CEO. So you would implant the chip into the politician first. You would hook up the other assassin to this like device that would kind of like Matrix again, go into their mind and sync up so that they possess this person. It's not like a supernatural religious thing. It's a technological thing. So it like syncs up and it takes time to calibrate and sometimes you have to recalibrate, but essentially you become that person. So the main protagonist in this or main character in this one, Tasha Voss, this female, she ends up possessing this guy named Colin who has ties or association with a very high-ranking CEO. Imagine like a Steve Jobs type, or Jeff Bezos, people like that, like really high level. And so they want to assassinate this guy, and they want to use Colin, the he's going to be the future son-in-law of the guy, as the guy to kill him. But they're going to kill him through this girl. So it's kind of strange. It's kind of hard to explain too. It is a little bit of a confusing story. It's got a little bit of a mixed reviews. Some people couldn't follow it, and so they shit on it. But I think if you really pay attention and you don't stare at your phone and do other BS and you just watch the movie, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like there's gonna be some minor moments where you won't know why things look a certain way. Like they use color to exaggerate things. So there's scenes that are very vibrant, like orange, and there's a scene that's very like bluish hue, and you kind of try to figure out like why is it all of a sudden like that? And there's a lot more to it, but it's like an assassin essentially. So you're gonna have blood, you're gonna have gore, you're gonna have people getting messed up. The opening scene is the assassin taking over this black woman who goes into a nightclub and she just murders the guy that's at the head of the nightclub, like the owner or whatever he is, and she just stabs him in the neck repeatedly, and then she shoots herself or tries to shoot herself in the head. That's kind of how they unplug. Like they'll tell their whatever
Hmm.
the higher up like, hey, get me out of here, and then they'll shoot themselves in the head, and then they'll be pulled out and back into their own body, and it'll be a clean getaway. But in this case, this woman has some psychological hangups, a little bit of regret. She doesn't know if she wants to fully commit to being an assassin, and so one way or another, the higher ups, like the leaders of this agency, they end up manipulating her, and they get their way in the end. And it's a lot more to it. I can't really go into super detail, but if you guys have never seen it, definitely put it on your list. I think you might enjoy it.
Yeah, this sounds a weird one, kind of even like a Matrix too. It's like where you could like plug in and be a kung fu master after you download the training. So it sounds very weird too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this assassin, she's already trained, so she didn't really have to download anything. Imagine like a Green Beret Navy SEAL, and you plug them into this machine, and then all of a sudden their mind goes into this other person, and now they possess that person. So they're gonna have all their skills that they already have, but now they can go and commit the assassination without having exposed their face, their body. If they get killed in the line of duty, they just disconnect their brain from that person and they're back in their own body, and no harm, no foul.
Oh wow. No, now it's sounding more like a Star Trek episode where this old guy was dying and he downloaded his consciousness into data and then he started going around like getting all hot for girls because this old man was like a creepy old man. Yeah, that's what it's starting to sound
Yeah.
like now.
Next generation, come on, bro. And then Data's like, I need to enhance my emotion chip here, man.
Gee, man, no, that would be an interesting comparison for sure. And it's kind of similar. Yeah, now that you mention it. But anyway, what I would give it as a rating would probably be like an 8 out of 10. It's a hidden gem for sure, man. And my explanation, it's not doing it justice. It's a really weird movie, so it's hard to explain like really well without going into super great detail. So, again, if anybody's interested in like a weird, cool mystery thriller with like some pretty like horrific body horror, this Possessor movie is one to give it a shot. But
Sweet, man.
but yeah, that's pretty much it for my week right there. Just watched a couple movies. And so let's go ahead and move over here to Andy, who, man, Hulk Hogan. This guy's had medical issues for a minute, but is there something new that's popped up?
So I don't know how much you guys heard, by the time of this recording, maybe things changed, but the last 2 weeks, it came out that Hogan went to the hospital to do some medical procedure, and that the radio personality from Florida, the Bubba the Love Sponge, him and Hogan, the one that recorded him having sex with his ex-wife. but they were married at the
Allegedly,
time.
man. I don't know if you
Allegedly.
could tell, man. With the bandana and it's hard to tell.
And he came out saying that Hogan's in bad shape. Uh, he kind of said that he was in his deathbed, and that they're asking family member to go to the hospital, and it was it wasn't really disputed. They did admit that he was in the hospital, but they were saying that his deathbed and all this that's not accurate or not true. So in the U.S. Weekly or the magazine came out confirmed um, that he was in this hospital. He was in intensive care because family members or spokespeople were saying he was in there and he was having some neck and back issues. Well, on Friday, when we record, it's Sunday now. Bubba the Love Sponge came out again, and he's like, people were blaming me. I don't. He like Hogan's my friend, and even though we don't talk and this and that, he came out that his sources are telling him that now he's in a medically induced coma. That they did a heart surgery on him, some type of procedure, or that they're going to put a valve, and that Hogan's heart is rejecting it. So now they had to put him in they can't release him. He's in a coma, a medically induced coma. All this allegedly, this is what he's reporting, and that it's not looking good. That they can't. He's not. Uh, they asked about a heart transplant. I mean, this is what he's saying. They told him no, that they don't think he can handle it. Um, his body's been through too much. He's older. And this, I was hearing the whole thing this morning. This half-hour clip that thing he posted on YouTube, and it's not looking really good. And they're afraid. Not they're afraid. They don't know. I mean, this is what he's saying. What's going to happen because he's on a ventilator too. That's the other thing he reported, and they don't know if he's going to make it out of here because this valve that they put him in, his body or his heart's rejecting it. It's not working for him, and they're kind of limited on what they can do to help him out.
Yeah,
And I think he's like 72 or 73 or something like that now.
yeah, I kind of heard about this, and you're right. Bubba the Love Sponge or whatever the hell his name is, that people were bashing him because they're like, oh, it's a bunch of lies. He's not on his deathbed. He just went in because he was having some neck and back pain.
Yeah.
That he's fine, everything's good. And then I even saw your boy Mania kind of
Yeah.
mentioning the same. So I'm like, oh, okay. So this Bubba guy, he's just trying to get some publicity because of the whole sex tape, and Hogan's not really talking to him anymore. But then, yeah, I'm like, where's Hogan? How come he's not coming out? He's like, yeah, let me tell you something, brother. I'm alive. He didn't come out and do anything. So I'm like, man, is it true? And then I heard some more reports that, yeah, that he is still indeed in the hospital. So I'm not sure what is going on, man, and what's happening with him.
And Bischoff, his business partner, came out and said, he's going to be released from the hospital like today. And this was like during the middle of the week. And Friday, he's still in there. And I mean, just yeah, there's all this stuff going on, and they're so the more like the less you hear more stuff confirming that he was in the hospital. This and now you're hearing this where there's smoke, there's fire. So hopefully he could pull out of it, man. I don't know because yeah, Mania. I mean, this Facebook friend that I saw matches, and he made a documentary with Hogan about their friendship. He was bad mouthing people, like, and now he's like, this positive thoughts, and like, and I'm assuming he has some people that know Hogan. He kind of might have a better idea, and even he's posting some stuff like, yeah, positive thoughts and this and that. Hulkamania will live forever. So now I'm thinking like, oh man, it must be pretty bad if they're doing all this stuff, and yeah, Hogan's not tweeting or anything, and we'll see what happens, man. It's I was thinking about it, like, damn, like hopefully he comes out of it, and there's all these reports about Flair's drinking, and allegedly he's pooping himself at restaurants because he gets so drunk. And there's like these two icons, and two, this their stages of their life. Um, and what Flair went through a couple years ago, he almost passed away. They had him in a coma, but he came out of it. So I don't know, man. It's sad, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And like a childhood hero of mine to see going through this, and usually he's pretty active on social media, and nothing's really going on. So to me, there's like something's going on, because he's doing all these promotional tours for his beer, and there was rumors his company might purchase Hooters, and they're opening a restaurant up in New York. Like he had all this stuff moving. He was keeping himself busy and active, and he was doing WWE stuff, signings. Um, we'll see what happens, man. Because a lot of people like to bash on Hogan. I mean, say what you will. Personally, yeah, he had some issues and stuff like that, but professionally as a wrestler, he's the top, man. He's I always, the whole new thing now, you're Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and I always say it's Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, and Mr. America, and then you can throw in The Rock or something, and maybe Andre the Giant or Stone Cold in there or whatever you want. But uh, yeah, man, it's pretty. It's not something you want to hear, especially when you've seen him do so much as a kid on TV and some live stuff. And we'll see what happens, man. I'm gonna think positive thoughts and some prayers for him. And hopefully, he can pull out and do him another tour selling his beer or something.
Get one more run out of him, man.
He got one more match in him. Him
Right.
and when he wanted to fight Stone Cold. So we'll see what happens, man. I'll keep everyone up to date. I was thinking about it today when I was hearing them. I was just like, shit, man, it's not like butter. And I'm like, he hasn't been out. And then, he had a falling out with his daughter a couple months. She's like, I don't talk to him no more as much. And I don't talk to my mother. And his son's just with him. And he got remarried. I'm like, man, Hogan got a lot of fucking family drama. And I was just like, this man can't catch a break, and I think that's why he's always working.
Yeah, he's always out there promoting, and like you said, for him not to be on social media, especially to kind of, quell the issues
Yeah,
or the people talking
yeah.
shit, and it kind of makes you think something's happening.
So I think it would at that age. I think he's in a medically induced coma, and when they do that at that age, at any age, to me, it's like a toss up, dude. It's 50-50. Like you might not come out of it. And that's why I'm like, oof, it's rough. When I heard Flair got in the coma, I'm like, he ain't coming back, and he made it back. It was touch and go for him, and we'll see what happens, man. Just positive thoughts. Um, the other thing I want to talk about, I had a coworker of mine. He was asking me for life advice here. So uh, he's laid back kind of guy. He has he likes smoking, if you know what I mean. And he was telling me he's dating this girl. And this guy's always, he's like, I'm a Casanova. He goes through a lot of girls and stuff. And he started dating this one girl, or woman, I should say. Apologies to the feminist out there. He was dating this one woman. They're like they live around the same area in the city. He was like, you know what? I'm really digging her. I'm feeling her. Um, I think this might be the one. And I'm like, dude, slow it down, dude. Like, you're never gonna settle down, blah blah blah. And just fucking with him. And then he was telling me the other day that he went to her house, so he Ubered there. And they just started talking about money, and he's like, oh well, she's like, let me sell you the Uber ride. And he's like, nah, it's okay. Like, don't worry, like I got it, I got you. And then for some whatever reason, she showed him his bank account, his debit card, and it had like a lot of fucking money. I'm not talking about like $10,000, $20,000. Just I'm like, I mean, we're talking about he claimed unless he was medicated, he had like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Like, and he got, and then he was telling me like, I don't know if I should date her anymore. It could be weird. I'm like, does the money intimidate you? And he's like, nah, not really. Uh, but it's I don't know what to make of it. I think I'm gonna break or whatever they were doing. They were dating, but they were hanging out a lot. And he's like, I think I'm gonna end it with her. I'm not gonna. I'm like, are you gonna ghost her? Or are you just gonna tell her like I don't know? And then so I'm just like, man, I go when I saw he told me that money, I'm like, just marry her and then in 2 years get the money, get half of it, you know. But when I was talking to him on Friday, he was telling me she hasn't messaged me all day. Like, I don't know if we're gonna hang out today or Saturday. And I'm like, who messaged last? And he's like, I did. So come on, bro. I go, it's dating 101. She needs to message you. And he was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. So I'm like, but I didn't want to bother him. I'm like, I might text him later. So what happened, man? Y'all connect or what? Because I want to see if he broke down and messaged her. So, but going with back to what I was telling him, like, what do you think is like? Would you be intimidated with dating someone who's financially stable? I guess is the word I'm going to use, and has a lot more money than you.
Hell no, man. Hopefully she could pay for everything, man. I just kick back, relax, do some gaming, watch some Star Trek. Shit, sounds like the life.
Yeah,
Yeah, to have like a sugar mama, that'd be nice, man. I'm not gonna lie. But there's a high likelihood that she cheats. Um,
yes,
from what I've like heard about hypergamy. I don't know if you heard of that term before, but it's like monkey branching. So women are always looking for the best deal, and if the guy's not holding up like the protecting and providing part, she's gonna look at options. So
that's another thing. Yeah, she's a single mom, and then I told him like, um, you know, it's if she's a good mom, you're never going to be the priority. And any type of relationship, it's always going to be her son. So, you know, I go, you got to make a decision, and I think he's gonna. I'll be shocked if he continues to see her after this weekend. To be honest with you, so you know, everybody makes a decision. Let us know at ffnquestions@gmail.com. What will you do if you think? I'm pretty sure a lot of guys are gonna be like, "Fuck yeah," you know. But I'll give him this. He's pretty opinionated. He's very independent, and he knows what he wants. And when he was telling me this, I'm like, dude, just tell. I told him, "Ya casate, güey, get her." And basically, I told him like, just marry her and get the money, and then see what happens. Maybe. But in the beginning, he was like really into her. Now he's just like, once he found out he had all that money, he kind of thinks different of her, and he kind of thinks she's being a woman, like scheming, and like there's some other shit that she's not telling him, like how she got all that money. So again, let us know what you guys think at ffnquestions@gmail.com.
it'd be OnlyFans,
And
dude.
yeah, OnlyFans or something. Something's going on, obviously. And we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for this week. Let's go to Danny, man. He sent me some pictures this Friday. He was partying it up with a lot of older women at his local festival where he lives, the traditional summer festival. What's going on, Danny? Man, you have a good time doing wine tastings or whatever you do, or buying elephant ears,
Right.
corn
Yeah.
dogs,
What is elephant ears? I saw that on the menu, but I was just like,
buñuelos,
that's,
basically fried
oh,
bread
is it?
with powdered
Ah,
sugar,
got it. I did see
Americanized.
that. I did see that on there, but it seemed a little too weird. And I'm like, for $10 or whatever they were charging, I'm like, I'm not gonna go experiment. But yeah, I
Damn,
went to the local festival. Yeah, Andy, that was a lot, man.
that's a
A
lot for
lot.
breaded fried bread.
I don't know if it was $10, but everything was super expensive. A taco was $8. Uh,
Hell no.
Water was $2. Pop was like $4. It was really, really expensive. Everything was astronomically expensive, which is kind of to be known. When you go to these festivals, you're gonna pay a little bit more. You're not gonna pay what $1.50 2 liter pop price. You're gonna pay inflated price for a little cup, a little solo cup of pop or whatever. Beers were $7 a pop, and then if you wanted like the top shelf stuff, those were like $10 a pop. So, yeah, everything was kind of expensive, but it was good times to be had, man. Went, tried some food. Alana bought some like French fries with bacon, green onions.
Damn.
It had like a feta cheese,
Damn.
and like I forgot what else. It was one other little topping thing. But yeah, I took a bite or two because we said let's share all our foods. I ended up buying some guacamole nachos with some salsa, and then quesadilla bria with it had like barbacoa inside of it
Mm-hmm.
with that made out of quesadilla, and we're like we'll just split everything and we'll eat all of this food here. So we went, we sat down. I ate some of her fries, but man, it was just too much bacon, man. That bacon was like it was like littered all over it, and I'm like, ah, it's too much. And she's like, what are you crazy? That's like the best part. That's what makes this thing good. And I'm like, ah, you can have the rest. And then for her, it was the opposite. The bria was a little spicy for her. So I ate my half, gave it to her. She took like 2 bites and she's like, nah, you can have the rest. It's a little spicy. So I finished that up. And then the nachos, she was so full from the potatoes, the French fries. It was quite a big serving that I almost ate the nachos all by myself. But yeah, the food was really good. Ended the night with a couple beers and then stopped by that funnel cake before I went home. And man, it just made the night. Great music. Everybody was acting cool. Those are, people that were a little um, high on life or drunk out of their minds. But for the most part, everybody was acting cool. Dancing, having a good time. The night that I went, it was a country night. So there was like two country bands, and then there was going to be a pop band at the end, but we didn't stay that long. And it was really good, man. It was a lot of good music, a lot of good, like you said, Andy, old people that are kind of jamming out and listening to some old tunes. They busted out some like Dolly Parton, and everybody was singing to it. And I'm just like, damn, man, that's the crowd we're in right now. Yeah, man, it was cool. It was a good time.
Did
A lot of young people, a lot of old people, but the young people were mostly at the amusement park area and not the concert and the food and booze area.
did you take like a tumbler or anything, or did they let you bring anything in, like any type of drinks, or you could sneak anything in?
No, I snuck in a water just because I knew that the water was going to be expensive, so I snuck one in. But yeah, it was really expensive, man. Like I said, $2, and I'm a big water drinker. So I snuck in one, and then I ended up buying 2 beers, and I was still kind of thirsty, but I'm like, ah, man, if we're gonna be heading home soon, I think I'll call it a night and just drink something in the car. I usually keep some water and stuff in the car. So, but yeah, no, they don't let you bring in anything. They have signs that say no outside food, no outside water or
Mm-hmm.
drinks and whatnot. But I guess the guy that was doing security, he saw that bulge in my pocket and he's just like, yeah, that's natural. And just waved me in.
Said, let me wind you over here behind this tent.
Yeah. But it was a good time, man. It was a good time. Parking was packed, so we had to park quite a bit away and walked over. So, but the weather was just beautiful, man. The night we went, there was a really nice breeze. It was hot. The sun was out, but that breeze would hit you, and you're just like, yes, man, that's the spot. So it was cool. It was a really nice time. Good to get out. Looking forward to the our Lake County one that they're having. I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend. And that one's a whole lot bigger. They have like a demolition derby, motocross jump stuff. They got a rodeo. Uh, what else do they got? Like
That's
a
the county fair one, right?
Right. Yeah, the Lake County Fair one.
Yeah.
And it's a huge facility, and then they got a big area outside. So that one's a really good time as well. So hopefully the weather holds up, because that plays a big factor. If it's too hot or it's rainy or stuff like that, nah, I'm cool, man. I'll wait for next year or for the next event. But yeah, if the weather's nice, it's definitely a good thing to go out there and check it out. Something else that I wanted to bring up, man, is, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get my gaming pass revoked, but there's a few games that I'm kind of giving up on, man. I played them for quite a few hours, but I got to a part where I just couldn't pass it anymore, so I've kind of given up. The one I put on my list here is Star Wars Survivor, but I had another one this morning where I tried and I tried, man. I must have died like 15 times, and then I was just like, that's it. I'm I'm too old to be playing games over and over again and not succeeding. I'm like, time is limited, and like Andy says, time is money. It's precious. It's the only thing you can't get more of. So I'm like, I'm done. Going on to the next game. Yeah, it was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and that one I was getting pretty far. I was getting all the new weapons, the new double jump, and I was getting a bunch of stuff unlocked. But I hit a part where the parkouring was just too much, and I'm like, I'm done, man. I'm jumping on to the next thing. So yeah, not sure. Two failed games in a row. The Star Wars Survivor one, I got stuck with the Darth Vader match. I couldn't beat Darth Vader, man. I tried everything. I even watched a few tutorials, like, oh, here's some tips on how to beat Darth Vader, and I tried them and I just couldn't. And my character was like super powered, man. I had almost unlocked everything because the way I game, I usually do all the mini missions, which you get a bunch of loot, a bunch of extras. You supersize your character. So by the time I go through the storyline, I my character is like almost maxed out. So I came into Darth Vader almost a maxed out character, and I still couldn't beat him. I'm like, I just don't know if I don't have the reflexes anymore, especially because Survivor is a big like Dark Souls like where there's a lot of parrying and blocking, and I'm just not that great at that. So yeah, it kind of sucks. I was looking forward to getting to the end because I could tell that that was like maybe another hour, and I would have hit the end of that game as well. But oh well, man. Did you even play that one, Noel? Are you into those Star Wars? I know they got two of them out, Jedi something, and then this Jedi Survivor one.
To be honest, the Star Wars games, not that I'm opposed to them or anything, I'm not super into Star Wars like that I want to play it right off the bat. It is on my wish list and all that, but no, I haven't played them. I think they have the Battlefronts, they have the Force Unleashed. I haven't played those. They have a number of games that I have on my list, but not yet, man.
Yeah, this one is more of a third person action game, where some of those other ones they're like battle royales and other stuff. And some of those names that you jotted off are kind of like older gen. The last two games that were made by shit, I can't remember the name of the company now. But yeah, they're more modern PlayStation 5 games. So they look really pretty. They run very well, or at least with the new patches. When they first came out, there were some troubles. But yeah, man, I think I might have to let them go, and maybe I'll come back one day and try it again. Although I probably have to start all over because all my muscle memory of all what every button does, I'll lose it, and I won't be able to probably jump in and just beat this one character. But but yeah, that's life there. Something else I wanted to bring up. I did do some TV watching, watched a few things, but one of the ones that I want to talk about is I watched All the Way. Andy, was this something that you've watched? Do you even know what this one is?
What's the premise of it? I've never heard of that one.
So All the Way is an LBJ movie. Um, the president after Kennedy got assassinated, and it's it's a pretty good documentary drama movie. It's with Cranston, Bryan Cranston, I think is his name, the
Oh,
guy
yeah, I
from.
remember seeing the trailer. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the Woody Harrelson one or the Breaking Bad guy? Yeah,
Oh, there's a Woody Harrelson one.
yeah.
Oh, cool. I might have to check that one out because Alana like really loved it. As you know, usually Saturdays, if we have nothing going on and we're just chilling at the house, we usually kind of just strolled the streaming services looking for movies. And as I'm kind of scrolling by, it caught my eye. So I looked at the trailer, looked interesting, but I'm like, this isn't an Alana movie. So I just added it to my favorites so I could eventually watch it maybe by myself. And Alana's like, "Oh, you're not gonna watch it?" And I'm like, "No, it looks interesting. I like Breaking Bad's Cranston, so I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll go back and watch it." And she's like, "Wow, I'm kind of interested in it. Let's watch it." So we watched it, and she really dug how crude LBJ was. He was like, he swore a lot. He was kind of, kind of like an old school guy. He would talk disparagingly about like women, or not disparaging, but he would like be like, like yeah, just go cook me something and get out of my face. I'm trying to run the country here or something. He would tell his wife and like scoot his wife away. And it just seemed kind of funny in the moment. Nowadays with all the women lib, it's probably not cool and everybody would be pissed off at him. But he did have like an old school character to himself. So it was a pretty good movie. It just showed right after the assassination of JFK. I don't know how true it is. It says it's based off of a book, but I'm not sure who wrote this book. But he looked like he had a lot of self-confidence things where he always thought everybody was out to get him. He always wanted to know what other people perceived of him. He would constantly say on the show how he was the accidental president until he won the re-election, and then now he felt like he was a real president. But yeah, it was pretty good. Bryan Cranston was an awesome actor to pull it off. I'm gonna have to check out that um the movie you said. You said it was Woody Harrison, Andy.
Yeah, I think Woody Harrelson played him in a movie. The problem, not a problem. LBJ was a shrewd politician. He has a dark past. He was part of the machine in Texas, the Democratic machine. Um, yeah, he's definitely a throwback, man. And he was a womanizer. He had some issues. He's just a throwback. But the problem is not the problem, but he was a dinosaur when he became president. And what I mean by that is he was part of a different generation that was going away. And if you read other stuff about him, there's conspiracies and theories that he was involved in the assassination,
Right.
because that Texas thing, the oil men and all this, and he kind of knew about it. There's even people say he knew about it. So that's why when you're saying there, like I'm just like how they portray him in that, like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, he had some issues definitely.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go more into it, but the movie doesn't even make mention of JFK too much, other than he got assassinated. Bobby's brought up a few times, but you don't really see him too much. The other main character is uh, Martin Luther King. He shows up a lot in the show because he was a big part about the civil rights
Yeah.
movement, and that is another big portion of this
Yes.
movie is the whole civil rights, how they had to trim back the first bill that JFK had started, and then he tried to get it done at the end with the voters' right. But yeah, the movie kind of goes into it. It's very cool. Shows Martin Luther King a little bit and shows his aspects. The Martin Luther King actor is played by that new Captain America guy, the guy that's flying around with his wings, Falcon or whatever. I
Yeah.
forget his name
I forget his name, but yes.
in the Marvel movies. But yeah, yeah, he is played by him. So very good movie. Pretty cool and interesting. Have to check out this Woody Harrison one and check that one out. Um, you're right. It is an old school character, and you get that feeling. I mean, they dropped the N bomb a few times in the movie because they're just like, to them, that's like normal to just talk
Yeah.
like that. Um, the Mississippi Burning movie, they have a little portion of that in this as well because that happens during his term.
Hmm.
The Vietnam stuff happens during his term. So, yeah, some good stuff that passes out through the movie. Pretty short. I think they could have probably gone a little longer and definitely showed a lot more of his character. But I think that's it for the LBJ guys. Let's take a pause and jump into our article of the week. All right, gentlemen. Article of the week. I think it's a good one. I know it's something that even Noel, I think, has mentioned he wanted to kind of get into. I know that I was even trying to push Junior into it when he first got into like karate classes and stuff, and I was trying to push him into it. But this article's from the New York Post. Beginning jujitsu student awarded $56 million after black belt instructor paralyzes him from the neck down. Um, I'll just read a couple of these first sentences here. But a jiu-jitsu student has been awarded $56 million after he's left paralyzed from the neck down by a black belt instructor named Sistro. Jack, 30, is a beginning white belt, was sparring with his teacher, second degree black belt, Francisco. Shit, he's Latino way.
Yep.
Uh, when he suffered the catastrophic injury in 2018, crushing his cervical vertebrae and rendering him a quadriplegic. The article goes more into it as far as Royce Gracie being a legend and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and some other backgrounds into the studio. Allegedly, there's even a video of it. All I could find was like still clips, and the article also shows some still clips of the accident itself. But yeah, man, this was something that when Junior, like I mentioned, was getting into karate, I tried to push him into jujitsu since it's a very great discipline, or at least from what I know of it. I'm not a jujitsu guy myself, so I don't know, but it looks very defensive and offensive at the same time. Very like grappler wrestling, which I think would suit in a street fight. So I was trying to push Junior into it, but yeah, it never kind of stuck, and Alana didn't like it too much either. Looked a little too high intensity, and she was kind of afraid Junior would get hurt. But I know you kind of were into the MMA thing for a while, Noel. Uh, are you surprised something like this happened to this student?
Um, not so much. Just because of the amount of people that are into this sport now. I would say in the last 10, 15 years, it like really blew up, and jujitsu is known more mainstream now than it was before. So the amount of people doing it, and just the amount of bad people that teach, and like they have like their McDojos or whatever you want to call them. Um, yeah, I could see it happening. It's unfortunate, man. And you really you got to be careful of who you sign up to do these classes with and who's teaching you and all that. And you want to make sure you have like other people that vouch for this person. I don't really know this trainer. I've never heard of this guy, Sinestro or whatever, Sinestro, Francisco Iturralde. I don't know. Never heard of that guy, but it's just a shame. The rest of his life he has to live not even being able to use his limbs, you know? That's a shame.
Yeah, for sure, man. It kind of sucks that you know, this beginning guy, he was probably like you mentioned, well, really excited. Jiu-jitsu is really popular in MMA right now, and then to have this freak accident happen. Um, I don't know about this instructor, but I'm assuming he was a little careless, or maybe he didn't anticipate him tucking instead of stretching out. I don't know. Happens in wrestling as well, Andy. Have you ever expected stuff like this to happen in training?
I mean, it could happen, but again, it all depends on who you sign up with and how reputable the trainers are. I mean, you gotta unfortunately do some research. At the end of the article, there are pictures, um, and yeah, it looks pretty rough. I mean, you see a picture of him flipping him over, and then next they show a picture of the night. He's just like on all fours on the floor. So I don't know, man. And like when I saw the article, I mean, not to make light of it, I thought you were gonna see some like instructor, like something out of Napoleon Dynamite, something like that. But nah, this guy looks legit. But who knows what kind of training he had, or or he's trying to just sign up people and like in wrestling back in the day, either people would go to wrestling schools and then they would like mess them up intentionally or something to see how tough they were and see if they would come back. Maybe that's what he was trying to do with him. Hogan has that story where he went to this school and they broke his leg the first day, but then he came back months later and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of stories like that. Even when WWE had Tough Enough, you could see Crash Holly beating up somebody, and he like literally just punched them and ground and pounded him. And like in this, they're supposed to be training just to show him like how tough he is. And this is some old school stuff, so you don't know that's what happened. But yeah, he's a quadriplegic now, and that's rough, dude. So I'm pretty sure they make you sign all these waivers, but you never know.
Yeah, for sure. Noel, was this ever something jujitsu that you were interested in exploring some more?
Yeah, it's a really good way to for multiple things. Good for flexibility, good for your joints, good for exercise. It's a good discipline. It helps you defend yourself if you're ever in a position where you got to grapple, which most fights will. It starts standing, but at certain points you're going to be grappling. So if you ever are in an unexpected fight, it's better to have that knowledge versus not. At least to be able to like hip toss somebody and then run away. So yeah, I'd like to learn it someday, but definitely hearing stuff like that makes me want to pause that. Um, for anyone that's going to be doing it, probably better to vet the people you're going to be doing it with and also make sure that the person you're doing it with is in a healthy state of mind. From what I've seen with like other anecdotes, other people that train MMA and all that stuff, martial arts, if they spar with somebody, they want to make sure is that other person, did he just come to the gym after an argument with his girlfriend? Did he find out his girl cheated on him? Is he behind on his bills and he's like upset? Is he gonna take out his frustrations on me? You want to know all these things before you get in that sparring mode with that person, because you never know. Like, if you don't ask the questions, you're gonna be paying for it later.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. It, when Royce Gracie brought it into the limelight, um, what the hell's the MMA big group now? Shit. The one you
UFC.
watch a lot, Noel? UFC. Yeah, when he brought it into the UFC, it was just like, wow, I can't believe it. And then when he brought in like his gi and started using that in combat, it was just like it was something totally out there that people didn't, never seen. So it's definitely a popular discipline. Hey, not to switch gears, but did you guys see the Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez thing?
I
I
did.
guess
Um,
I guess they
I,
fought yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I heard of the results, but I didn't actually watch the fight.
You watched it, Andy?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Oh shit! I don't know if you watched it through legal means. I didn't even really even know about it. I had heard about it like months ago, but I totally forgot about it. And then when I saw it on social media feed,
Mm-hmm.
and that for everybody out there that T voted and haven't watched it, Jake Paul won, and I wasn't surprised, man. I did see like some clips thing where it just showed like two or three little scenes, and it looked like Jake Paul was just like he was like manhandling him. What did you think, Andy? Before we end
So
this
yeah,
one.
when I heard about it, like, oh, he's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I'm like, oh, okay. Like I remember, like I'm thinking like he's young. I mean, I watched a couple of his fights like 5, 6 years ago, but then I saw the tail of the tape. Like, oh man, he's fucking old. He's been boxing for a long time, and like he's like towards the end of his career. I'm like, And then Jake Paul came in like the first 3 or 4 rounds. Uh, he dominated. He was Chavez was just laying back. He wasn't really throwing punches. But then you can see Jake Paul started getting tired. So like the last 2 rounds, Chavez turned it on and he was starting to hit him. And I was like, oh shit, like Paul's done. And then, but he just ran out of time. He didn't do enough in the early rounds because I guess he was trying to figure it out because he was afraid of his power. But then when he got tired, he started hitting him, jabbing him, and got a couple of uppercuts. And then, but he just ran out of time. It was a 10 rounder, 3 minutes. And he even said so, like in the post, the after the fight, Chavez is like, it was, I didn't do enough in the beginning. But if I just ran out of time, if I would have gotten him for like another two, I think, I could have done something. He just got tired. And then they asked him, do you think he's championship? He's like, he's not ready for champions. He's a good fighter, but he's not ready for championship. And Paul just started talking his nonsense and shit. And yeah, it's just another guy. I don't want to say he's past his prime, but he hasn't fought in the last fight. I think he didn't take it as not serious, but he didn't train for it. You could kind of see, and then Paul got tired because Paul was like, "I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out." He couldn't knock him out, and he took some punches in the beginning, but he turned it on at the end because Paul was tired and he started jabbing more. I think he landed in the percentage, the compy box thing, he landed more punches. He was more accurate. He threw less punches, but at the end, all his punches connected. So it was something like 60% of his punches connected, but he threw almost all his punches in the last 3 rounds. And like Jake Paul just threw a ton of them, but he didn't land a lot of them, and he connected a couple of times. But Chavez at the end, he threw the last 3 rounds. He threw a ton, and he connected more. But that's because Paul was tired, and I wouldn't have paid for that fight. So, but it was just like I want to see like because he's a real boxer, and I wanted to see what he would do. And I think if it would have gone to 12 rounds, I think Chavez would have gotten it. I mean, he was starting to get tired, and you could see it, and Chavez started connecting.
Yeah, for sure. I think I did notice that in the clips of the later rounds, it looked like Chavez was getting more into it and he was landing a lot more
Yeah.
punches. And
Hmm.
Jake was definitely moving a little slower towards the end. But yeah, what do you think, Noel, against Canelo? You think Jake's got a chance, or even some of like the bigger fighters, like what the hell's that Tyson Fury guy? You think he's got a chance against him?
No, no chance against Tyson Fury. He actually mentioned Anthony Joshua, who had beaten Francis Ngannou,
Yeah.
and I was having a little bit of a debate back and forth with my cousin. We ended up watching the fights yesterday, MMA, and then we were talking about the Jake Paul and all that stuff. And so, yeah, him beating Cesar Chavez Jr. doesn't really say a lot because all the people he's fought and beaten are either retired or coming out of retirement or have been through wars and they're not in their prime. The best challenge he had, he ended up losing. That was Tommy Fury. That was Tyson Fury's younger adopted brother, whatever you want to call it. So if the best fighter, which is not even the best fighter in general, beat Jake Paul, that like the best challenge he's had so far, beat him. I don't see him beating Anthony Joshua. I don't see him beating Dante Wilder, Tyson Fury. Canelo is different because he's a smaller guy, much smaller. He would probably bully him. I don't know if he would win, but it wouldn't be a good fight for Canelo. I don't think. Um, just because Jake is such a big guy. But not to take away from Jake, man, he's got skill. It's without a doubt. He has money to train. He has time to train, and he does it seriously. And props to him, but I just don't think he's on that level. But again, I'm not a big boxing guy. I'm just going off of what I see and what makes sense. So,
No, for sure.
but yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Again, I think he called out Anthony Joshua. So if they make that fight, that'll be interesting. I think that one I would pay for, just because that's a more compelling matchup. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. If anybody wants to, send us suggestions or anything about what to talk about in boxing, we can start looking more into it and have more discussions on that. But I think that does wrap things up for today, guys. I want to thank everybody for listening to us and joining us on the Freeform Network. If you're not already, please follow us on X at FFR Podcast. And again, if you have any questions or suggestions, any topics you want us to cover, whether you're more interested in, we can expand on, send that to ffnquestions@gmail.com. From Freeform Radio, my name is Noel, and we have Daniel.
Yes, sir, man. I'm hungry. Gotta go see if that sandwich is still in the fridge, because I gotta eat.
Yeah, for sure. And we got Andy here.
It's all good, Andy. Want to thank you guys for joining us, and don't forget to hit us up on ffnquestions@gmail.com and at all our social networking sites. We're all up in there and responsive, so hit us up.
Definitely. Please leave us little comments on there and help us improve our show here. We're always looking to try new stuff and expand on it. But we wish you a great night and a beautiful tomorrow.
That was cool, Dad.